Which weather authorities is replacement by directed south outside Fort Area and focusing on is on breastfeeding repairs. Meanwhile, more than 140,000 residents in southern areas of Florida and Florida Washington, thousands of water bottles were distributed to residents in Washington Township and Maryland. Supervisor Sam Pavini is trying to find as much water as possible to help these residents. We're just going to put this fire every day. We're going to be getting supplements through the county and the state. And again, we're working with Meyer to see if we can actually purchase a truckload as well. And we've also been in contact with DT and ITC and Consumers Energy, trying to see if they can supply some water as well. Along with Washington Township, other communities in the Rural Water Advisory are Shelby Township, the city of Rochester, Highlands, East Township, Richfield Township, and Communities. Schools are expected to take place. This the College Township ballot was November 20, after ballot reclamation of zero since voting to approve legalization in 2018. The Britain's ballot voting collected enough signatures to put the measure on the general election ballot. Tuesday, November 8th. The U.S. County Sheriff's Department is warning residents of the fake Facebook post that there is a serial killer in Town Investigators until August 11th, so the line driver truck with everything coverage, driving pivotal cars and rural America continue. The Sheriff's Department says that there's no truck is coming at all, and the rest of the victims are not shot. Similar posts are being shot around the country, according to police. The first originated in the same body. Police say it's always a good idea to get American surroundings or people in the video information is best to do a little research report. WFTW News 907. Right news here for Family Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Basic. If you're thinking of buying a new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck, you owe it to yourself to call CompleteFailing.com, where you can complete 80% of the deal right online. Failing has new vehicles arriving all the time. Make sure your name is on one of them. And don't forget, if you're looking to move up to a new pre-owned car truck, the Taylor Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue in Basic has pre-owned and inspected vehicles with all the Taylor dealerships in one place, offering you one of the largest inventories in the Great Lakes Bay region. Supply with a Taylor representative. Strike your best deal. Drive it away today. Taylor, the family that's been serving your automotive needs for 45 years. Stop today or visit them online at thinkfailing.com. Don't forget, you can do 80% of your deal online at thinkfailing.com. For WSGW, Sam Thanks. Girls and socials were elected to serve in today, around 35 years since Metro Detroit's Douglas Church declaration for 255 and takeoff for Detroit Nation.
You'll need those when you get started. Got a few minutes. What's your last name?
Nelson.
Nelson. Oh, that's easy to remember.
Survive a crash that killed 156 people. Her body was found by a fireman in mid-Victoria. This was the teenage mother, killed with her body. Another father and 6-year-old brother died.
You got a title now?
I do not. I am.
Interim fair director?
No. I am not even a fair board member. My husband is.
Really?
Yes. Tom, the president, is my husband.
So you're the volunteer, give me all the work person.
Yes.
Lucky you, Ashley. I don't know how you did that. Probably did that because your husband said so.
No, I didn't say no. When the job needed to be done, I just.
Well, that's good. Somebody has to.
Do I need to scooch over more?
Maybe a little bit when we get started. Just maybe a foot. That's good. That's good. They can't see us anyway because the sun is blinding the camera. Right, keep my head. Sun.
Sunny for today. Highest temperature is 79 degrees. Winds northeasterly by 215 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies and diminishing winds. Lows drop to 6. Lots more sunshine. Highs low into the low 80s. Wednesday, mainly clear. Lows start by 258. Looking at Thursday, sunshine remains in the forecast. Highs reach 84. Lows are down to 60 on Thursday night, and highs are down to the middle 80s on Friday. This is meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSTW Meteorology Forecast. Right now it's 68. Your talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Article Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And a very pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. On the road today, this is one of my favorite places to come. This is my second year now, and it is such an unusual setting. We are at the Ogama County Fair, which gets underway today, and we'll be telling you about that. We'll talk about it this hour. Next hour, we're going to have someone from Blue Cross Blue Shield with us, and on Focus, the SVRC Marketplace. And Terry Henney will be along with his farm show, too, up here at the Ogama County Fair. And for those of you watching on the stream, you'll have to forgive the brightness, but the sun is right behind us, practically staring at the camera. So it'll be a little difficult till the sun rises up a little more this morning. But we have a special guest to chat with to start this morning. I'm going to have to give her a title because technically she doesn't have one. So I'm going to call her the Interim Fair Coordinator. Her husband's the president of the Fair Board. I think that's how she got this job. But we say good morning to Ashley Nelson. Ashley, good morning to you. Thanks for having us up here at the Ogama County Fair. I doubt very much if this kind of setting in the country.
Nope, we are one of the few that actually has a lot of free entertainment, the hands-on working antique village, which we're very proud of. We have threshing machine demos. We have an old schoolhouse with one-room schoolhouse with school teachers in it. We have an actual blacksmith functioning in our blacksmith shop.
And you're set in the woods.
Yes.
It's fairgrounds in the forest, I call it. I mean, this literally was cut out of the woods, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was. The property was donated to us by the county, and we cut trees down, put up buildings and everything, and we grew what we now call our monster.
Yeah, well, it is for sure. I know I get lost every time I come into it, just trying to find where we are in the location here. I have to ask, though, the fair is, and I don't know if you're probably too young to remember, how old is the fair?
The first actual fair was held in 1983 on these grounds.
Oh, so it's a fairly new fair then.
Yes, it is.
Where was it someplace before these fairgrounds?
Yes, for 2 years it was actually downtown West Ranch.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
And then the county gave you this land?
Yes.
How long did it take to develop? Because there's a lot of pavilions and all kinds of buildings.
We continue to develop up until
It's still developing, huh?
Yes, it is, because our Griffin barn for our entertainment during Fair Week and then off Fair Week is wedding receptions and things like that is new. We actually just last weekend held our first event.
Now, where's that located? It's hard to. Where's it located?
It's actually directly in front of us.
Somewhere in the fairgrounds.
Yes.
So, I mean, you do need a map to get around this fairgrounds, especially if you. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to drive in like I did, but when I first got here this morning about 7:30, I'd forgotten from last year how I got to this building. So I ended up at the grandstands, and I ended up at an empty lot. And there happened to be a gentleman going by, and I said, "Where is this building?" And he said, "Well, you see that building? It's over past that building, and if you go around the perimeter and you get there this way," and I'm going, "I got the idea."
Yes.
So it's a beautiful fairgrounds. Lots of entertainment in the
Yes.
grandstand every night.
Yep. Tonight we actually have Atomic Sound. They are a local band in beverage tent, which with free admission, so anybody going in can enjoy some music. Tomorrow night we have our bump and run put on by Unique Motorsports. Thursday night we have the monster trucks. Friday night we have Sawyer Brown.
Yes, my sister station 94.5 News. After that,
And then Saturday night our mud bog, and that concludes our fair for the
so
grandstand.
Sawyer Brown is your headliner
Yes,
fair
he
this
is.
year.
Yes, he is, and opening for him. Sorry.
That's all right.
Motor City Memories.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yep.
So let's talk about costs to get into a fair like this. What is it? What's the gate cost?
Okay, our daily gate cost is $5 for 11 and up
Wow.
a person. If you're 10 and under, you're free. And then you can also purchase a weekly pass for $15.
And then parking free.
Parking is free. We just have the gate admission.
And then the amusements, you have Arnold Amusements here.
Correct.
Right now, do they have a weekly or a daily pass that you can buy for rides?
Yep. Currently, if you buy the weekly pass, it's $100
That's
For
for
the
the whole week.
for the whole week. Their morning session, or early afternoon sessions, which are typically from 1 until 5:15, are $25 on armband. And then the evening session, which is 5:45 to 11 p.m., it's a $30 armband, with the exclusion of Wednesday, which is our kids' day, and that armband for all day is $25.
And also, veterans have a special today, don't they?
Yes, Veterans Today gate admission is $1. And then on Thursday, we actually have Seniors Day, so anyone 60 and older is $1 admission.
So, for the average person coming to this fair, how long do they plan to spend here?
Days. Honestly.
I agree. I just knew that was coming.
Yes.
I want to talk about the Antique Village. I have not been to it yet. It's one of the things on my list today. I think when Terry Henny goes to farm show, I may wander over. What's in the Antique Village? How did that come about?
I'm not exactly sure how it came about, but all of the buildings in our Antique Village were fully functioning somewhere at one time, and then were moved to the grounds.
So the village was built after the land was donated.
Correct. All those buildings have been moved in just for display and to keep the kids interested in how things used to be.
Yeah. Something we're losing.
Yes.
Fairs like this are great educational tools, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And that's the whole purpose of us being here, is to educate the kids on the agricultural community.
I was just going to ask, it's not only that Antique Village, but what role does agriculture play in a fair like this?
It's huge for us. Our animal barns, if we didn't have agriculture, we wouldn't have our auctions, we wouldn't have the animal barns. And just teaching the children about livestock and agriculture in general and raising animals, and because we have a great number of kids that are involved in just the livestock portion of our fair.
Yeah. And we're next to a pavilion here. What goes on in here? Because this has an arena in it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's our pavilion right now. They actually have the swine show going on. So each exhibitor that has a livestock animal, they're a swine, they're in that building and displaying
the animal,
displaying themselves to hopefully make it on to showman or showman, which that is when they are in the top of their class for the judges judging, I guess. They will then go on to showman or showman, and then they will show all the large animals for the overall title to get.
And then when are the auctions?
The auction is Thursday at 4 p.m. starting.
For all categories, all at the same time?
Yes, we do our gallon of milk first, and then they go on down through the list of each of them.
All right, hang on. We'll take a break. Come back. We're talking to Ashley Nelson here at the Ogama County Fair. We'll also try and tell you how to get here. That could be a challenge too if you don't know where it is. And we will do all that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Third Hand Tire and Service Center. With this deal, you are getting a full synthetic oil change up to 5 quarts, plus a free pair of wiper blades.
Couldn't remember when I got here why I set up that angle last time. Now I know why. Sun.
Yes.
We're located right next to O'Connor's Auto Outlet. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I've listened to you for probably over a year now.
Great. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Where are you from?
West Branch.
Right? Yeah. Very good.
Reception's pretty good up here considering.
Depends where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a few places that dies out, but you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Quite the setup going on here.
Yeah, I'm actually down one because the signal is kind of, so if I put too much on it, they die out.
All you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter
But
for free.
it works.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's a dead zone right here, but there's a 5G tower like not a mile that way.
Yeah, and I'm not getting it here.
Really? It's an AT&T
I'm getting
5G tower.
I'm on Verizon, but I've got 4G and 2 to 3 bars. I mean, when I get 3 bars, I'm hallelujah.
ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Hi, Art. How are you doing?
How are you?
Good to see you again this
Thank
year.
you.
Things going well?
Yeah, can't complain.
Oh no, weather's beautiful. We're gonna have good weather all
I
week.
was telling Ashley, I remember now why I set up that slant this year. Sun. Too late.
So all right, I'm gonna go have something to eat. So
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stock features remain in red as investors mull over some key housing data just in.
is on that safe seat.
Future construction, that numbers a little bit better than expected. Still not much more better than expected, but the stars coming in weak.
Hey, you know, isn't sugar the best way to? No, anyways.
Be direct. That's
Here's
good.
another way. Guys, here's some fresh cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
And if you guys just say, hey,
Imagine it.
we got Alpine almonds.
What's the name of your group?
We're Alpine almonds. We do
Alpine almonds.
cinnamon roasted almonds, pecans, cashews. That's all we do. But anyways, yeah, right.
You cinnamon roast cashews? How do you really?
Oh yeah, we do almonds, cashews.
Right over there, right? I
Right
saw
around the
you.
corner. Oh yeah, Pop's been there for 25 years now. So.
Might have to stop over later.
Yes. Oh yeah, you'll smell them, but there's going to be a lot of. This is what I was told to come with that. Isn't this where they get the start cooking like crazy?
I'll be out of here by then. When do they do that?
Yeah, you guys can smell
It's
like.
only one night, isn't it?
So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay,
Well,
finds you
sorry. Today is roast beef, so they do those in the oven. Tomorrow is chicken dinner.
That's out here, right? That's what I thought it was. I thought it was.
We'll have some competition with the aromas. That.
Yes.
The size of that. That's what someone said. You like meat? Yeah. Well, I get that 14 foot.
Yeah, but you're dessert.
But anyways, you guys have a good day.
Hey, thank you.
Oh, this guy goes walk. This is like, gotta keep the wheels turning. He's next. Because we're camping. He says, hey, we'll,
You too.
Is that the chicken?
This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bow, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Hitting the right field, line drive, off the bat of Victor Royals into score. That's Gary Carpenter. Big two-out each about picking up your teammates. The Tigers throw 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Hi, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show from the Ogama County Fair, and we're right smack in the middle of the fairground. We're talking to Ashley Nelson, who's helping to coordinate all the activities of the fair this year, president of the fair board, and they are delivering what we believe are all the chickens for tomorrow. We are sitting, I should describe this, outside the main building. What do they call this building? Main building.
Yep, just our main building.
Yeah, I got that one right. But we are right next to a big outdoor barbecue fire pit.
Correct.
And tomorrow night,
Is
right here, is the big barbecue chicken dinner night.
Correct. We start serving dinners at noon. So normally, if this was a day that they were out here, we would be sitting right next to them.
No, we wouldn't. So, do they do something different every day, food-wise? Because I know it's a big commercial kitchen.
Yep. Today is a roast beef dinner.
Ooh.
Yes.
What time do they start that?
By noon, we'll have dinners. And then on Wednesday, we do our barbecue chicken dinner. Thursday is our rib dinner. Friday is our chicken dinner again. And then Saturday is the ribs.
Wow. Yep. So today's the only day for roast beef.
Correct.
What a good day.
Yes.
And a friend from Alpine Nuts, Alpine Almonds, I think it
Yep,
is.
Alpine almonds.
Brought us some cinnamon roasted. Just one of many. I mean, let's talk about the food at the fair. I mean, what's a fair without food, right?
Correct.
So if I turned you loose and said, Ashley, go buy one thing for yourself, what would it be?
I don't know that I could just buy one thing. I'm gonna have to say I'm going for the fries.
Oh,
Carnival.
really? Good. That's good.
Yep.
I usually look for the soft pretzels and the elephant ears.
It's hard to pick what you're
It
gonna want
really
to
is
eat.
at a fair, and there's lots of food.
Oh yes, we have Cowboy Cuisine who does paninis and stuff like that. We have Sherry's who does barbecue. We have Fresh Kitchen, which is salads and stuff like that. We have Amigos Taco Wagon, and then you have all the carnival wagons on top of that with the elephant ears and the corn dogs and the fries
And they're spread out, aren't they? I mean,
Yes.
we're sitting not far from an area, I don't know what you call the various areas around here. There's a lot of food vendors up here to our left.
Gonna get smoked
But
out
then
like
there are signs that say more food that way, and
Yes.
so they are all around, aren't they?
Yep, we actually have two areas where excuse me.
Sorry.
2 areas where we have food vendors, just kind of spread them out a little bit, and it's hard to move around and things like that. So we spread our food vendors out just for people trying to walk around. If they're in the antique village, they may not want to walk up next to the carnival area, and vice versa. If they're in the carnival area, they may not want to walk down this way.
So from where we're sitting, how far is the antique building?
Maybe 1,000 feet.
It's quite walkable.
Yes.
Straight
Yep.
out,
Yep. Just straight here to our right.
straight to the right, you go into the antique village. So give us an idea. We talked about the village, but we didn't talk about what's in the village. So what kinds of buildings are in the village?
We have a 1-room church. We have a 1-room schoolhouse. And typically in the schoolhouse, we do have teachers that used to teach in the 1-room schoolhouses. We have a rug shop, cabin. And then we also have a blacksmith shop where we have a blacksmith functioning. We have a thrashing building that they do demos in, usually 2 o'clock each day, just to show kids and adults how they used to get the wheat and stuff. We have Willard's building, which is antique equipment, plows, things like that. And then we have the old gas wells, but they run water through them now just to show
Yeah.
how they
So-
used to function.
Last year we were here, and that was the first year after COVID, right?
Yes.
And have you seen a resurgence now? People wanting to go out?
The last 2 days, because we do have pre-fair grandstand events, our numbers have been up a little bit, which is good because our surrounding fairs have told us that their numbers are down. So we're hoping that will continue through this week. We'll see the surge of people out and about.
This is one of the biggest fairs in the world.
Correct. Yes. I think Midland has more attendance than we do, but they also have a larger area to pull from.
Yeah, more population. To me, this fairgrounds is so unique, so different because the way it's cut out of the woods. You drive in and you're driving into a different world.
Yes, we pride ourselves on that, and we've tried to maintain our trees, which has been difficult over the last probably 15 years just because of the different diseases of the trees.
This is one right here that's cut down, but I remember that from last year, that stump, tall stump, I mean, it's probably about 20 feet high. It's all just cut off and supplied.
Yep. Unfortunately, yes. But we still have a lot of trees to provide shade for people that just want to take a break. We have a lot of benches that have been donated to us over the years that we place sporadically so that hopefully people can sit down and then just enjoy some downtime while being here.
Okay, so here's your test. Tell people how to get it.
All right. If you are coming up 75, you're coming north on 75. If you take exit 202, you will be on to M33. You will go about 5 to 6 miles north. When you come to the intersection of 55 and 33, you will go east another 3 to 4 miles, and you will see Rifle River Trail. We are down on. You'll head south.
Trail.
Yep. Yep.
I think actually on 33 it's about 9 miles, according to my GPS.
Okay.
It's about 9 miles. But it's an easy ride. I mean, it's not a difficult ride. It's just you have to know where it is.
Correct.
And you can put it in your GPS, you have one in your vehicle, and you get you right here. The fair runs till 1.
We are functioning through Saturday evening, the 20th. At 11 p.m., the rides will shut down.
And I know there's a website. All about it.
OmagawCountyFair.org is our website. We have our list of events on there. Each day is separated out into a heading so it's not so overwhelming.
Right now, swine are in the pavilion right next to where we are, being displayed by the.
Correct.
That goes on. How long does it take, roughly? You want to come into one of these presentations. How long do you expect to see this in there?
Probably a couple hours.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it's quite a while then.
Yes, because right now is the exhibitor showing their animal, but it's more about the exhibitor. So the judge talks to each exhibitor, and they have to answer questions and things like that so that they can move on to the next.
Very good. Well, Ashley, I know you have work to do, so we'll let you go, but we appreciate you spending some time with us and having us here at the Ogama County Fair.
We are glad to have you guys, and thank you for having me on the air.
You betcha. Ashley Nelson, and she is right now the coordinator of things going on here at the fair. And we should mention, Ashley, just for 1 second, I do want to mention the gal that was here before Mary. Tell us about her. She was here a long time.
She was. Unfortunately, we lost Mary a couple months ago, unexpectedly. She was our chair of entertainment sponsorship, and she wore many hats, and she is dearly missed by us all.
Yes, because particularly you now, you're wearing all those hats for now.
Currently, yes.
You need to talk to your husband.
Yes.
He'll tell you keep it up. All right. Well, listen, Ashley, thanks again for being with us today. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
The Ogama County Fair going on now through the 20th. Come on out, and it's $5 to get in. It's beautiful, beautiful fairgrounds. Walk around and enjoy the great outdoors here in Michigan. We will take a break, and then we'll be back with open phones. So you can give us a call, 989-752-6111. More ahead on the Art Lewis Show.
Looking for a new place to
Thank
call
you.
home? The Springs at Frankenmuth is a well-spring
Lost
community
one of my
focused on
screens here, I
age-friendly
see.
home design, supportive technology, services, and home affordability. The Springs will quickly become part of your active senior lifestyle.
Oh,
So you can
temperature.
forge new friendships and nurture old
What does that
ones
mean?
too.
It,
To live
with
each
the
day
sun being
on
on it, it was
purpose,
too warm.
with purpose.
Oh, really?
Visit
Oh, yeah. iPad
liveatthesprings.com.
needs to cool down before you can use it.
Do you want to go back into the shade a little bit?
I would love to. But I have to lift. You have to lift the table and move everything in one piece.
Using everyday language, this book explores how the simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empowering Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare
Ready?
for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empowering Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason Carl's radio
Could be
show,
better.
Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning.
Thank you.
Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services, offering benefits, investment advisors fee, and registered advisor code in the state of Michigan. Investment advice will including potential loss of principal. The Tribute Summit Concert Series takes center stage at Sacramento Plaza. See Back in Black, Black the Music of ACDC on August
Thank you
11th.
very much.
Then, Shanthi Appelo performs the world's greatest giant band experience on August 25th. All shows are outside in the parking lot on the south side of Wood Road and include $10 free play for adults. Saginaw Landing Casino and Motel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saginaw-Landing.com for complete details. I know Michiganders are facing higher prices at the pump. This is Dan Quimby. In Congress, I've introduced bills to strengthen our domestic energy production with the year-round sale of ethanol made from Michigan-grown corn. And I support giving families a tax cut by suspending the federal gas tax, putting more money in your pocket. I'll keep working to make our economy work for you. Take more by official funds authorized by House Representatives. Yeah, I'm so stressed. The business is going, we've got people all over and what is that? Meditation? I'm recommending Uma for their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution. Uma? Yep, switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Now you're feeling it. Visit Una.com. That's all.com to learn more.
Hi, how are you?
How does it work? Can I try?
By what?
The next monthly
What
Ted Robin
you
show.
doing?
What am I doing?
What is that?
That's a camera.
What?
I'm streaming,
Oh,
broadcasting live.
can you be in it?
See?
How many people are in it?
Just me.
Oh.
I don't know how many are watching.
All right, thank you. Well, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing it?
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. As I mentioned, open phones. However, I need to communicate with the guys at the studio. You need to tell me when someone is on the phone line right now, mainly because the iPad I use to communicate with you guys got too hot and I got the temperature warning because we were out in the sun. So we have since moved back into the shade, but I have no way of communicating with you until we get it cooled down a little bit, which is happening right now. And hopefully we'll be able to get it back up again. And here we go. All right. So anyway, as we mentioned, we're at the Ogama County Fair. And if you have not been here, it really is just a magnificent setting, the way it is carved into the woods. And from that, you can walk around and look at all the exhibits in the village and all those things. Fairs are phenomenal. What an educational experience for a youngster who maybe, even like me. When I came to Saginaw, and I've mentioned this before, I'm a kid from New York City, didn't know much about agriculture at all. And went to the Saginaw County Fair and looked at all these huge items that I'd never seen before, and I just was astonished at what they were like. Tractors, harvesters, things of that nature. For a kid from New York, I was just blown away by the size, the immensity of all these things. And this was 1974. Things have gotten even bigger, and as any farmer will tell you, a lot more expensive than they used to be. But still a great educational opportunity. And by the way, guys, I have the connection back, so I have my camera page up so we can communicate verbally, or you can text me if you will. Our numbers are 989-752-6111, toll free 866-790. WSGW, whatever's on your mind, we would love to chat with you today. Open phones. And we'll have a guest for the first part of next hour. We'll have more. So by all means, give us a call and you can chat with us on the air about whatever's on your mind. There's been a lot going on in the news. The dominant thing seems to be the raid on Mar-a-Lago and the after effects of that. The Justice Department has asked the court to not unseal the affidavit that they used to obtain the search warrant for Mar-a-Lago. Congress, both sides, Democrats and Republicans, have been asking to see the affidavit. But the Justice Department says that it might interfere with their investigation, so it will not be seen. What's going to come of this? Who knows? Who knows? The only boxes that they took that are probably going to come into question and be discussed publicly and behind closed doors are those marked TS and SCI. Those documents are to be seen only in a specifically secure room. Shouldn't be removed. Now, President Trump claims that they were declassified documents. If there's a paper trail that shows that, and that they were declassified, then there's no case. If you can't show that paper trail, then you might have a problem that has to be looked at and figured out. I don't know the answer. I wasn't there. I haven't seen the documents. And I just know that it was rather unusual, highly unusual. Matter of fact, never ever been done before, to raid the home, structure, building, or whatever of a president of the United States, current or otherwise. And it's raised a lot of questions in a charged political climate. Because it hasn't been done before, and there have been opportunities where maybe it should have been. Have we seen equal treatment? Probably not. Which raises questions, why not? Why was this not also done to Hillary Clinton when she had a government server, unauthorized server with classified information in her own home in an unsecured type of situation? Why wasn't there an attempt to take it, find out about it, do more during the process when they knew it was there? Why now with this president? Well, part of it is because Donald Trump is Donald Trump. Well, let's be honest about it. He, is one of those people that can be his own worst enemy. and rile people up because of the way he is. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind when it's on his mind. And it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He also has a lot of political enemies on the other side of the aisle who do not want to see him run for anything because they're afraid if he runs, he might win. And a lot of people feel that the current climate in Washington in Congress, all the hearings going on, are designed simply to keep him from running for anything ever again. At the same time, if you're an honest observer, you also then have to admit that some of it he brought on himself. Now, let's talk about the January 6th hearings for a minute. My personal feeling is it's a bit of a witch hunt. I only say that because there's been zero defense allowed the president. And I said that the other day, and I got an email from somebody reminding me, well, a lot of the witnesses were all Republicans. Yeah, but they weren't defense witnesses. Doesn't matter what party you are, it's what you have to say. Why has no one been allowed to come forward who may have another view? Why were only those Republicans, Cheney and the other who voted to impeach the president, have always been against Donald Trump? Why were the only Republicans allowed to be seated on the panel? Why weren't some of the other Republicans who were pro-Trump allowed to be seated on the panel? So, on the surface, it looks a little suspicious, kind of a one-way street with a predictable outcome. Now, the question is, have they found enough to actually bring charges and indictments? Because if they don't, then you have to ask, what was this effort all for? And I don't know the answer to that. Got to take a break, and we will be back with more from the Ogama County Fair, the Art Lewis Show.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. If you're fixing for one of those meals where you need to wear a trash bag to eat it, then the Lumberjack Restaurant has the answers to your cravings. Try the Big Axe Burger. Panning, bacon, mushrooms, onions, cheese, with a big old pile of pot roast and barbecue sauce on top, will make you go, ooh. So get your axe up to the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. It's 212 I-75, where hunger goes to die.
Coming together on August 27th, Shut up again. What goes with beloved time from Happy Gilmore? Stay out. It's shooter's time. Available from selfies and autographs during the game. Following the game will 11 tonight with the fireworks and attacking. Powered by Find Your Own Show. Trouble with power. I think the breakfast gets you selling fast at use.com. Like the for breakfast? No, shoot 'em again tonight, August 27th. Dive in. It's use. It's that time. Summer is here, the perfect time to save some money. Why would you pay more price? You know you can save at RocketDraftPlus.com. You can check out all of the deals going on right now from Tri-City Motor Speedway, One-Up Games and Repairs, JP's Market in Monroe, Lori's of Auburn, Daylight Outfitters, and more. Half off? Yeah. And it's all at RocketDraftPlus.com. RocketDraftPlus.com. I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Bibles lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, you're speaking another language. Like magic. I love the Bible lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And it's designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations. Things you'll actually use. 3 weeks. It's incredible. And for 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris. Having a conversation in French. There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher. If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel. 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 Au revoir.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. You know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too, using cutting-edge approaches. Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results. What few people overlook. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control of Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. Sean Hannity, weekdays at 3 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
A beautiful day at the Ogama County Fair. Those watching on video get a little better view of me now. I backed up from the sun. I'm trying to stay ahead of the sun this morning. It's going to rise over the building I'm in front of eventually. I'd seen something I'd never seen before. I have an iPad Pro here, and because it was in the sun, it got too hot, and I got a temperature warning. I had to cool down before I could use it again. Something you learn as you go. Ogama County Fair going on today through Saturday, and lots of events going on. Free parking, daily front gate pass, $5 a person, 10 and under free. Weekly front gate pass is only $15 here at the Ogama County Fair. And this is the Sawyer Brown Fair this year, because Sawyer Brown Live, Friday, August 19th in the grandstand, opening act Motor City Memories. Tickets are available at etix.com. Gates will open for that at 5:30. There's paved walkways, benches, picnic tables, free entertainment, the Veterans Museum, home-cooked meals, the hands-on working antique village. And for more information and full grandstand lineup, you can go to ogamacountyfair.org. Be sure to follow him on Facebook for event updates. Ogama County Fairgrounds off Rifle River Trail, 8 miles east of West Branch. There we go. So come on out and visit this fabulous fair. Weather absolutely gorgeous today. It's just ideally comfortable. Probably going to be in the 70s, very low humidity, and a beautiful place to walk around. Bring the kids, because it's educational. It's not just an entertainment venue. It's educational. You go to the antique village, you watch the youngsters and their animals, learn about agriculture, and of course, great fair food here at the Ogama County Fair. I invite you to come on out today. The what they are calling Inflation Reduction Act, a lot of economists question, has been touted by the Democrats as an achievement. Of course, it is a shadow of itself from what they originally proposed, which was a $4 billion Build Back Better plan, if you remember right. Did I say $4 billion? I think I meant $4 trillion. It was big. But anyway, this plan is really probably less than a fourth, maybe 20% of what they originally wanted. but they had to negotiate with Senator Joe Manchin about it and Senator Sinema, who were the holdouts. They finally got it down to where they could support it, and it cleared the Senate by a 51-50 vote, 50-50 vote, and then, of course, the Vice President of the Senate. Vice President is the President of the Senate, casts the deciding vote, tiebreak, if you will. Anytime you ask yourself, well, what does one vote mean? Is one vote very important? Just remember the Senate. And remember how important one vote is. Because up until this time when Senator Manchin decided to support this legislation because he negotiated with Majority Leader Schumer, he was the most important person in the Senate. Because his vote decided whether it would pass or not. It's a divided Senate, 50-50. The Republicans were not going to support the Democrats. The Democrats weren't going to give the Republicans anything. Manchin was the deciding vote. That one vote meant an awful lot. So if you ever wonder what one vote means, just think of Joe Manchin and how important one vote is. Take our last break, and then we'll be back to finish up this hour of the Art Lewis Show.
We are proud to make pioneership at the UN. Proud to be found in our kitchen. The heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with pioneer sugar. Whether it's with a granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the minerals you make those nuts that will matter the most. Pioneer sugar. Pure and all natural. Made from sugar that's grown right here. It's sweeter than that.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of the John Deere 10.5R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skill, hands, and work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor.
The earth takes shape out what it's taking.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032 compact tractor.
You want me to help you move some of this?
Well, I would appreciate that just a little bit. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Just saying on the radio that they had to keep adjusting with the
Keep
sound.
moving, get rid of the sun. John, nice to meet you.
Mention anything about the veterans day?
Mention this one more time.
Yes,
Well,
60 by 40.
Are you come back in about a half hour? Back in a half hour.
Yeah, I'll do that. I got a 96-year-old
Yeah.
Richard Lane. I got to get home back.
Yeah.
You get a large.
Oh, yeah.
I went to school with Terry.
Oh, did you
We
really?
were in the same dorm together. We won't admit it.
Oh, geez. We'll be up here later.
You
bet.
These rocks are the world's largest fundraisers for Alzheimer's cure, support, and research. You can join the fight against Alzheimer's by walking in Saginaw on September 10th, and go Sigma on October 1st, and Woodruff on October 8th. You can find Rock and Alzheimer's information on the WSCW.com homepage by scrolling down and clicking on the Rock and Alzheimer's box.
All right, back here at the Oklahoma County Fair, wrapping up this first hour of the Art Lewis Show, and we have coming up next hour. We're going to talk up front to someone from, I think, Blue Cross Blue Shield, if I'm not mistaken, and then we're also going to chat with someone from the American Legion. They have a big veterans building here, celebrating veterans and their lives. So after we talk to Shanthi Appelo, we're going to talk to someone from the American Legion for a little bit about that. On Focus, SVRC today will be the subject of Focus. So for now, we're going to head up toward the top of the hour. News from CBS, and of course the local report brings you up to date on the region and the state. And then we will return here at the Oklahoma County Fair with lots more information for you. All of that is ahead right after the news on WSGW.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery studio, WSGW. Obesity Midland. WSGW-FM Carlton. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York. We learned just this past hour, First Lady Jill Biden has COVID. White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the details.
Her aide said the First Lady tested positive after experiencing mild cold symptoms. She's now on a course of Paxlovid, which her husband took when he was diagnosed last month. Dr. Biden is expected to stay in South Carolina, where the First family has been vacationing. Her husband was due to return to Washington to sign the climate, healthcare, and tax bill. Backers named the Inflation Reduction Act.
The president tested negative today. Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney could be on her way out after today's primary in Wyoming. Correspondent Steve Butterman is in Jackson.
The most recent public opinion poll showed that Liz Cheney faces a very, very tough fight today. The last poll by the University of Wyoming showed that of likely voters, only 28% said they were sure they would vote for Liz Cheney.
The majority saying they're casting ballots for attorney Harriet Hageman, who has Donald Trump's endorsement. But this Wyoming voter will not be among them.
Who is put herself out possibly to her own political peril, but there's some full truth in the Constitution.
Word just in, the FDA has issued a final rule clearing the path for hearing aids to be sold over the counter without a prescription. General Motors has issued a recall over third-row seatbelts that could malfunction. WWJ's Jeff Gilbert.
Kia's recalling 484,000 Suburbans, Tahoes, Escalades, and Yukons. These are the newest versions of the big SUVs, 21 and 22 models. Seatbelts may not properly hold a passenger in a class.
Millions of kids are going back to school this week. The chances are there aren't enough teachers to teach. Low pay and high rates of burnout among reasons some 280,000 teachers have called it quit.
This was true before the pandemic, but it's worse now.
Education Secretary Miguel Cardona telling CBS News states should use American Rescue Plan dollars to sweeten teachers' deals and make it easier for retired teachers to return to work. Vicki Barker, CBS News. Today marks 45 years since Elvis died. Fans attended a candlelight vigil at Graceland last night. The beloved has never been forgotten. Miss the King, Presley's ex-wife Priscilla spoke.
Many of you have been putting me on war after war, God bless you.
Elvis was 42 when he died of heart failure after battling a prescription drug addiction and weight gain. This is CBS News.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Looking for a new place to call home? The Springs of Frankenmuir is a well-spring community focused on age-friendly home design, supportive technology, services, and home affordability. The Springs will quickly become part of your active senior lifestyle, so you can forge new friendships and nurture old ones too. To live each day on purpose, with purpose, visit lifeatthesprings.com. Your homes are going fast, so reserve yours today. LuckyCraftPlus.com. This week's deal on LuckyCraftPlus.com is for third-hand tire and service center. With this deal, you are getting a full synthetic shorts, plus a free pair of wiper blades, and it also includes a 35-point inspection.
Hi, can you hear me?
Third-gen tire and service center is a European
Can you hear me?
special, and they're located right next to O'Connor's
Can
Auto
you hear me,
Outlet.
Shanthi?
Head to LuckyCraftPlus.com.
I can't hear you, though. Your audio's not.
Yeah, I'm so stressed.
Say something.
We've got people all over now.
Disappeared.
What is that? Meditation? I'm recommending Uma for their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution. Uma? Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user plus tax. Now you're feeling it. Visit Una.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business. Today at Lake Culligan, better water that cares. James on the line.
Hey, Culligan, how can I avoid using all those plastic water bottles that harm the sea turtles?
Jane, our always-on drinking water system helps eliminate the equivalent of 15 billion single-use plastic bottles a year. So you see, Lake Culligan cares about sea turtles, too.
Aw, plastic bullets and Culligan cares.
That's catchy, Jane, and totally true.
I'll drink it like that.
Jane, we're already on the way. Let us help you out free and good water just with a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com. Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News. Sun skies and 70 degrees at 10:05. You'll be running enough for traffic. American churches temporarily suspended childcare services after a car crashed into a single wheel. Police say a 56-year-old man has been intentionally drove a 2007 Dodge Charger through a bar.
Hi, Shanthi. Can you
Hi
hear me?
there. I can hear you just
Can you hear
fine.
me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Now I got you.
Awesome.
Perfect. We'll be within a few minutes. Hang on.
Sounds good.
Secretary of Agriculture Tamara Wilson visited meetings in the United States Here's WSW.
Secretary Vilsack announced a $40 billion investment provided by the Act for existing USDA programs with a focus on energy efficiency and reliability and conservation in agriculture. It's considered first. It's focused on farming land conservation. It's everything farmers have requested. And for many years, Vilsack says that incentivizing changes to farming practices in the short term will help increase productivity and profits for farmers in the long term. Jonathan Bench, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The Bay County Waterway teams advancing in improving on the World Series. Bay County recently defeated Huddersfield United 8-2 in the rematch. Huddersfield has been eliminated from the competition with that loss. Bay County will face the loser of the game between Janesville, Pennsylvania, and the New Capital City Chinese Taipei at 10 o'clock this morning. WSGW News Time 10:07.
At non-farm credit union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Go for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards. Even finance loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back. It's easy to open a new loan and have an existing one to wildfire. Just call, pick, or come by any wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City, and ask for cash back now for the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with low monthly payments. Plus, get cash back. Wildfire Credit Union. Just think of you. Subject to Carnival equalizing limit.
The WSGW News Time 10:08 and weather forecast is coming up. A major Michigan Republican candidate is having a fundraising push today by former President Donald Trump. Secretary of State candidate Christina Carrera will be the focus of a fundraising hosted by Trump at his golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey. Trump will speak at the event with the Maryland News Post to Carrera's campaign account and a political action journal called Carrera SOS Fund, which was established in Maryland. The event is being called the center of Trump's emphasis on key races in Michigan and on campaigns for positions that oversee elections. Here's a further announcement of Michigan Republican.
Extra planning is one of the security industry's leading tools. Law enforcement, not giving specifics, but even around from mass shootings plaguing the country, local chiefs who need multiple times a year to plan this tell us there will be enhancements. More than half a dozen police departments will supplement each other.
Yeah, you can listen. You have to take them off in a minute.
Oh, do you do like broadcasts?
Yeah, that's what it is, radio show.
Earlier this summer, Highland Park, Illinois, was the scene of a parade tragedy at the hands of a gunman. The through, the suburban parade of sorts has parallels, leading officials to be mindful of ever-present threats.
Difference from the system and approach from Breastfeeding
That's a fancy pussy.
Yeah.
Can we
Track
be on the
ball.
broadcast? We'll be famous when we grow up.
I hope you are.
We already are. Yeah. My name is Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Tonight, also full springs and Venetian winds. Rose Club Team 60. Wednesday, the Basketball Sunshine. Transform into the lower 80s. Wednesday night, rain and flurries. Will start by 2:58. Next Thursday, sunshine or using forecast between 84. Also down to 60 on Thursday night, and also down to the middle 80s on Friday. Here's the Gravity School Transport with the WXTW weather forecast.
Currently at 70.
So offering you the chance to ask your questions or express your opinions. From around your yard to around the world, the Outdoor Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSTW and online WSTW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. On the road today, we are at the Ogama County Fair, 8 miles east of West Branch. The fair runs today through Saturday. Great event. We'll be telling you about it throughout the next couple of hours. Terry Henny will be along too at 11:30 with this farm show. But for the first part of this hour, we're going to talk about good nutrition and how it affects breastfeeding moms and some other topics too, because from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, we say good morning to Shanthi Appelo. Good morning, Shanthi.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Looks like you're having a nice day outside.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, if sun were nutrition, we would be up to our eyebrows.
You're getting your vitamin D, it sounds like.
That's what I'm doing. I'm getting that's good. I'm glad you put it that way, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting my vitamin D. Well, Shanthi, I saw the topic, nutrition for breastfeeding moms. I mean, is there something that a breastfeeding mom has to do differently than what you would normally do?
You know, there are a few things that a breastfeeding mom might pay a little bit more attention to than if she wasn't breastfeeding. So the first thing is that whenever you are breastfeeding, it does take quite a bit of energy. You may have heard that some breastfeeding moms tend to lose some of the weight from their pregnancy during breastfeeding, and that's because you burn more calories generating that breast milk. So generally,
most of them don't object to that.
right? That's one of the benefits of breastfeeding, definitely. And so generally, it's not going to be as many calories as you think. Between 330 to 400 calories is kind of the additional calorie needs for a mom compared to before she was pregnant. So that's one thing. Another thing is that calcium, the body kind of prioritizes the needs of the baby through the breast milk for calcium. So a lot of breastfeeding moms will lose between 3 to 5% of their bone mass while they're breastfeeding. So that just makes it more important to get enough calcium. About 1,000 milligrams a day is recommended. So that means that moms should load up on things like dairy products. We know that those are really rich in calcium, but also think about other sources of calcium, because it's not only in milk and yogurt and things like that. It's also in dark leafy greens. So think your kale and your spinach, beans, broccoli. They all have a lot of calcium as well. You may want to consider some nuts too, because almonds and chia seeds are really rich in calcium. And then what you're doing today, Art, getting vitamin D, that helps absorb
in the sun, yeah.
Yeah, absorb the calcium in the body. So
let me ask, in getting nutrition, so the mom wants to get good nutrition because she wants a healthy baby, obviously. You have mentioned all the sources. What you didn't mention were supplements. And in almost every nutritionist I've ever talked to would much rather you get it from natural food than through supplements. But do supplements work?
Okay, so this is
if mom needed calcium, could she take the pill?
So this is such a great question because it really depends on the person. Now, a prenatal vitamin is great for someone who's planning to become pregnant and even someone who is pregnant. So after pregnancy, that might change a little bit. So there are certain individuals that definitely could benefit from a supplement. So that might be someone who's vegan or vegetarian. And the reason for that is iron is going to be very important for breastfeeding moms. And iron is actually more bioavailable if it comes from an animal source. So, for example, if you're eating chicken or, red meat is a really good example because it has quite a bit of iron, though it's not the healthiest in other ways. Now, if you compare that to consuming iron from spinach, we think of the big strong guy. What's the character's name? Popeye. Yeah, he's known for being strong with all his spinach. So it's actually more bioavailable in that animal source. So someone who's vegan or vegetarian might benefit from getting iron that way. Also, B12 is something that comes from animal sources that they might benefit from. Omega-3 is another nutrient that's really important during breastfeeding. And of course, we know that we can find that in a lot of fatty fish and things like that. You can definitely find it in plant-based sources like flax seeds and chia seeds where it converts later to the omega-3 that we need. But all that to say, in some cases, people may benefit from, supplementing depending on what their diet's like. And it's all about discussing this with your healthcare provider. Something too, as you mentioned, calcium, definitely talking to your healthcare provider about choosing the right supplement because some calcium supplements they're made from oyster shells and they can have some heavy metals in them. So just something to pay attention to.
So you really have to know what you're putting in your mouth, don't you?
You do. And, when you're choosing a supplement, I always recommend talking to your healthcare provider. And of course, you also want to check that it is voluntarily regulated. So that's something to pay attention to as well, because we know that everything that we see on the shelf isn't regulated when it comes to supplements.
Every time I have a conversation about nutrition, I hear about dark leafy greens.
Yep.
Just how important are they in our lives? Not just moms breastfeeding, but everybody.
Well, the thing about leafy greens is that they have so many great nutrients. They've got vitamin K. They've got, of course, a lot of things that breastfeeding moms need, like iron and folate. And so they're just going to be loaded with a ton of nutrients. Oftentimes, too, those leafy greens are rich in fiber, which is something that us as Americans definitely don't get enough of. We think we need, for men, 38 grams a day. Women need 25 grams a day, and the average American gets 15. So anything that we can do to get towards that goal is a good idea. Now, green leafy greens, there's been so much research that shows that it can be good for brain health. It may play a role in preventing Alzheimer's. So all in all, great nutrient to get in.
Can I destroy the value of that green leafy vegetable by overcooking it?
So some nutrients can definitely be lost when they're exposed to high temperatures, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. Cook it how you want it. It's still going to retain plenty of nutrients. You might see a few more benefits in frozen over canned, but fresh is definitely going to be the best option.
We always go back to fresh. That is the best source of almost anything.
Oftentimes, yeah, but freezing, especially when something is quick frozen, it doesn't lose too many nutrients. And I think it's so important to talk about that, especially in today's environment, because we see the grocery shelves nowadays. I mean, when you compare and contrast to prices just a year ago, it's really going up. So I think a lot of families are needing to kind of change the way that they're eating. And I think, moving towards frozen, if that happens to be a cheaper option, can be a really good idea too.
All right, Shanthi, hang on. Got to take a break. We'll come back. Shanthi Appelo is our guest from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. And more ahead from the Ogama County Fair. I'll tell you about that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, where, by the way, guys, I have control again.
What's your fortune? A staggering legal plan. Listen for a fortune with your chance to win up to $100,000.
Morning.
Good morning.
Maureen Ford, Right Time Advertising.
Oh, hi. How are you? You were here last time, too, last year, weren't you? I
I've been
thought
here
so.
for years.
I thought so. Yeah.
How, have you met anyone here that?
Actually, I had Ashley on for about 20 minutes, first
Okay,
hour.
cool.
Yeah, I met her right away. I went looking for her. I got here at 7:30. Nothing was open, but
I bet.
yeah, I had Ashley on for probably a good 20 minutes.
How was she?
Excellent. Very, very good. And I have one of the veteran fellows from the veteran building is going to come back and chat with me for a few minutes.
Do you need anybody else?
Anybody you think I should have?
No. Normally Mary would direct me in what she wanted, so.
Yeah, I thought that was a loss.
Oh my God. It was really hard for me to walk through
Was
here.
it just sudden?
Yeah. They said that I talked to her on Wednesday. She said, I'm feeling great. And they said Thursday night she went down. They took her into the hospital. And the following Monday or Tuesday, she.
Is it COVID or no?
You know, when I talked to Ashley, they said that they really did not know what. She just kept going down. So.
Well, you know, when it's time, it's time. I knock on wood every day I get up. I'm healthy. You don't know.
You never know. You know, and the little bitch never, but, you know, she just never. I'd always say, how you feeling? She'd go, oh, wow.
Yeah. I got inducted into the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame on Tuesday. And my opening remarks were, let's read the inscription. You're old and still working. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, then I might get inducted into it too.
There you go. It's amazing.
You work long enough, you're going to get indicted into something.
Well, actually, it's rare. There are actually two of us at the station now. That's unusual.
ZipRecruiter finds you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like you said, it's time. It's time. It's not your time.
No, it's you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, my dad died very young. Colon cancer. Back in the day in the 60s, they didn't have the test on.
Yeah.
My mother, on the other hand, lived till 88, died of colon cancer because she hadn't seen a doctor. So,
she probably would have went to 98 had she been
probably. Oh, yeah. She was probably. Who knows? You never know. You never, ever know.
Well, it's a beautiful day for it anyway.
Yeah, Terry will be up 11:30. He'll be here. This is great. This is I got up here because I remember the last time I had trouble finding this. I had no trouble finding the fairgrounds. Once I'm in the fairgrounds, how do I get here? You know, and you come in and Mary was here when I got here. She was had to go find it, but she was here back in that back.
Yeah, I
remember you were sitting on that bench for quite a while.
Just trying to wait for Mary to give me instructions. This year I have a feeling, you know, because Ashley, she was just throwing.
Yeah, I know.
Just
husband's president of the board. Honey.
She said, I said, so do you have another job? She said, yes, but now I have to work.
Yeah.
Her vacation was spent here.
I'll talk to you later. All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. As I mentioned, we are broadcasting today from the Ogama County Fair. We're talking to Shanthi Appelo from Blue Cross Blue Shield. But Shanthi, you'll have to forgive me because we talked all about good nutrition, but I am at a fair. And you know there are food carts all over the place.
Yes.
Probably not what you would call good nutrition, but who cares at a fair, right? The fair runs, the Ogama County Fair, from now through Saturday, all kinds of activity, all kinds of grandstand shows. Let me give you an idea what's happening in some of the grandstands. Tomorrow is a bump and run derby. Thursday are monster trucks. Friday in the grandstand, Sawyer Brown. I think I have those backwards too. Today's the 16th, right? So today is Atomic C, a local band, and Sound D with the beverage tent. Tomorrow is the bump and run derby. Thursday, August 18th, will be Thursday, right? It's the monster trucks. Friday at 6:30 p.m., music in the grandstands, Motor City Memories at 7 o'clock, Sawyer Brown at 8:30. Tickets were available at etix.com. And then Saturday, they have a big mud bog. Lots of home-cooked meals. Today is, you have to cover your ears, I'm sorry, Shanthi. Today is roast beef dinner. Tomorrow, the chicken barbecue dinner. We're right outside next to the big fire pit where they cook the chicken. Country style barbecue rib dinner on Thursday, chicken barbecue on Friday. Country style ribs return on Saturday. But today is the roast beef dinner. All here, $5 to get in. The Ogama County Fair, and located at 2300 Rifle River Trail, 8 miles east of West Branch. We're talking to Shanthi Appelo. She is from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, talking about good nutrition for mothers who are breastfeeding. Yeah, first of all, is breastfeeding for everyone?
You know, how you feed your baby is definitely a personal choice. Of course, we know that there are so many benefits associated with breastfeeding. You know, it has protective benefits for the baby. It can actually help prevent obesity later down the road in children. Of course, there's that bonding for mom and baby. And, you know, I could go on, but again, such a personal choice. It works for some people, might not fit the lifestyle for others. But, you know, I think it's something that's between the mom and the family. And then, of course, you know, getting guidance from the health practitioner as well.
Is there anything healthier for the baby?
There are so many important nutrients associated with breastfeeding. So yeah, it's a great source of nutrition for baby for sure.
All right, so we talked about all the things a mom should be eating and taking in to provide good health for their baby for breastfeeding.
Right.
What should they not indulge in?
There are some things that moms should consider consuming carefully. One of those things is going to be caffeine. So a little bit of caffeine is not going to harm the baby.
What's a little bit of caffeine?
So
is
actually,
1 cup a day of coffee too much?
2 to 3 cups of 8-ounce caffeinated beverage a day is actually about where you can go. So probably no more than 3, but you're going to be noticing it probably in your baby if they're a little bit fussy and things like that. So if you're noticing that, you can cut down, of course, but most moms are going to be okay consuming 2 to 3 cups of coffee.
Well, I have to ask about that. You mentioned the baby's fussy. Are you suggesting that caffeine is a pass-through?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is that caffeine a pass-through? Can it affect the baby?
Yes, it can pass through breast milk. And so that's why if you consume too much, that is something to look out for. Now, alcohol is the same thing. It also passes through the breast milk. So, you know, there's not really a safe level of alcohol, but if you want to drink while you're breastfeeding, you could pump before you drink. Or you can wait until it's processed out of the body. It takes about 2 to 3 hours per drink to process out of the body. So something to pay attention to there too. So it doesn't mean you can't have it. It just means that it takes a little bit of planning.
I heard you. I got you on that. I got
right.
You on that.
Yeah.
And how long does breastfeeding go on? When the time the baby is born, what's the range of breastfeeding?
The recommended amount of time based on American Academy of Pediatrics is going to be 6 months. Now, of course, throughout that course, there's going to be introduction of some solid foods as well. Some breastfeeding moms choose to breastfeed for up to 2 years or more. So it's just up to what works for the family. But of course, we see a lot of benefits associated with breastfeeding those first 6 months of life. I know we touched on calcium and vitamin D, but there are a few more nutrients we could touch on real quick just to really talk about the importance for breastfeeding moms. Protein is going to be really important. So if you think of I don't want to say normal, but an overall healthy individual who is normal
What's normal?
activity level. Yeah. Normal is a funny word. But anyways, the protein recommendations for an average healthy individual is going to be 0.8 grams per kilogram of their body weight. Now for breastfeeding moms, just as a comparison, that's 1.05. So it's going to be a bit more. And that's because breastfeeding moms need that protein to build, repair, and maintain that body tissue and muscle, especially after being pregnant. So that's something, of course, to keep in mind. You want to focus on healthy proteins. So those are going to be things like eggs, lean meats like poultry and fish. And of course, that fish would have some omega-3 as well, which is great for brain development. And then legumes, nuts and nut butters, and tofu is also a really great source of protein.
Some of this, obviously, it seems to me anyway, some of this translates into healthy for anybody.
Exactly, it does. And I think something so interesting about breastfeeding is that there are some research that suggests that moms actually can encourage flavor learning through the breast milk. So, variety can be good. If you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables during pregnancy, it might be that the baby gets exposed and prefers that later on in life and might be more likely to eat fruits and vegetables.
So it's almost scary how much a baby learns as a baby.
Yeah.
If you don't point them in the right direction or don't do the right things, how it can impact them later on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And, I think when it comes to all of this, though, don't be too hard on yourself. Baby's gonna get what they need. But of course, there are certain things that you can do for yourself to just make yourself feel better and stay healthy.
Shanthi, it's always fun chatting with you. And we thank you for joining us. Give everybody the web address where they can find out more information from you.
Absolutely. So we have at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan a website called ahealthiermichigan.org. It is an amazing website. It has so many healthy recipes. I upload several every month, and it's all free health information. So that's ahealthiermichigan.org.
Shanthi, thanks a lot. We'll look forward to chatting with you again.
Sounds good. Have a great day at the fair.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. Shanthi Appelo, and she is with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We thank you for joining us today. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about veterans and a very special building here at the Ogama County Fair. All of that coming up on the Art Lewis Show.
I always hear you. I never get to see you.
Sorry about that. Now you got to look at me.
You don't look near as old. You don't look near as old.
79, every bit of it.
I'm 72, every bit of it. Some of them feel worse than others.
Yeah, I got you. Your name again is
John Bennett.
John Bennett. I don't know why I kept wanting to say Bill.
Bill Bennett was my uncle.
Oh, is that right?
It's nice out here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous today, isn't it?
I was on the fair board when we built it.
This is spectacular. I mean, the county, Ashley said the county just gave you the land?
First 40 acres, and then they bought. I was on the fair board for like the first 8 or 9 years, and I had MS. And they said I was going to be in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
Come down 3 times a week. I lived 6 miles from here. I drove a tractor over. I wore a tractor up there. Building it. We spent 10 days just marking trees. Everybody thought they were going to come down, with chainsaws. No.
I'm glad you did it.
We done it right.
Yeah, because it's phenomenal. I mean, it's grounds in the forest. I mean, it's just.
We never thought we'd have it. We never even dreamed of anything being back there. Ivan Arnold came here. And he was, the first time he come out here, there was no grass, it was all sand dust. I came in here on the 7th of January, 1982. And by August of that same year, this building, before were the animals and the horses, these buildings were here. And he says, "You're never going to make it. You're never going to make it." It's one of the most successful fairs in the state.
Oh, I know it. It's amazing.
Above and beyond. The last couple of years, I've heard it.
Mary was a lost one. So she was kind of a glue for a long time. Wasn't she?
She was. She could also be.
Oh, yeah, I gathered that.
Oh, boy. Just like she didn't, the Veterans Building didn't belong in the Antique Village. She hasn't got no business out here. And you have to smile and you go along.
Yeah.
And you look and see what we have out there now.
We'll go look like it.
Wow.
I'm going to walk down there when Terry gets here and take a look.
Yeah. And it was a 30 by 40 building. We started out with a small exhibit about the overhead here in building number 2. And they started, and my family brought a bunch of stuff down. And they said, "You going to bring that next year?" And I said, "Well, it was just the theme this year." But old Leonard P. Lass says, "Why don't we have our own museum?" Talked them into, we built our own 40 by 30 log
Is
building.
that open the rest of the year? Or is it
No, it's open during the fair, but we'll open it up for special groups. I wish it was. But every year I organize the 4th grade tour, class tour. About 180 kids, they come out here and we give them an education. And I'll tell them right in front of everybody.
These things, you know, like Michigan's own and Frankenmuth Museum.
Oh, yeah, been there.
Unbelievable. I was on the board
Unbelievable.
for a
This
while.
isn't on that quality. This is all local.
Yeah, well, but that's
Local
fine.
veterans we started putting up,
But
and it's
that's
beautiful.
fine. That's what it should be.
Yeah, and it gets bigger every year. We ended up having to double the size of it. They said, "Well, you're never going to fill it." But it started looking like a garage sale, you know. You know what I mean? And we ended up building. We raised the money, and we had it paid for. It's all paid for. We paid for it ourselves, and it's worked extremely well. Extremely well.
Ozone.
News Radio WSGW. Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and background show in the Sun City Studios. This is WSGW.
Hi, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, coming to you from the Oklahoma County Fair. And one of the things, if you come up to the fair and you walk past the Antique Village, you will find a building dedicated to the memory of local veterans. We're going to talk about that for a little bit this morning, because with us is John Bennett from the American Legion, who is kind of, I guess, the motivator, instigator, and
One of them.
keeper of the goods at the Veterans Building. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Thanks for being with us. Tell us a little bit about how this Veterans Building came about here at the Oklahoma County Fairgrounds.
Well, one year, I think it was back around 1999, 2000, they had one of the themes in the building was veterans. And we brought a bunch of veterans uniforms out and mannequins and stuff my family did. And we had them up overhead, and everybody remarked about how nice it looked. And are you going to do that next year? And we just kind of got our heads together, and they said, "Why don't we have our own museum? And then we don't have to do this all the time." And by God, 2 years later, we had a 30 by 40 log building that we built ourselves, funded ourselves, and
Wow.
And now in 2022, 2019, we had to double the size of it.
So the fair allowed you to use that property, right?
Yes, yeah.
Where, in relation to the Antique Village, where is it?
It's
right next to it?
It's immediately to the left side, or to the west of that, between that and the grandstands. It's right. It's part of the Antique Village. A lot of times it doesn't get mentioned in the same venue. I'm not sure why, because it looks newer, but that's where it's located. And, we get people all the time coming through.
Now, you're in the American Legion. You served?
Yes.
When did you serve?
I served from 1970 to 1973.
Vietnam.
In the Vietnam Era, I had orders to go there, and then they changed my order because I was an old farmer that was very fit, and there was a lot of people that weren't very fit, and we did that, and I ended up going to Germany, and I was upset because I lost 3 good friends in Vietnam, and I guess this is one of my motivation things to honor them.
So take us inside that building. What are we going to see if we go in the Veterans Building here at the Oklahoma County Fair?
Well, if you go in to the north door, that's pretty much all World War II. And on the other side, it's Korea. We try to have it by conflicts. And then on the new edition that we put on, that's all Afghan, Vietnam, and it gets fuller every year. In the other section, we've got an old 1918 Maxim machine gun. To tell you the truth, it came out of the Graceland Ballroom when the Purple Gang was up there, and somebody, and no, it's not.
There's Michigan history.
Oh, yeah, boy, I'll tell you. And no, it don't work.
That's good. That's good.
Or otherwise we'd really be in trouble. We have weapons. We have pictures, and we try to put a little story. I do a lot of. I've probably done over 100 Vietnam or veteran stories with the Oklahoma Herald and stuff, and some of the stories that I've heard, you wouldn't believe.
Now, these artifacts in the building, uniforms, things of that nature, they are all from local?
All from local, as someone in the county, you know, and some people, one man's junk's another man's treasure, always, you know, and they'll bring it in because they don't want it. And see some of the value in some of the artifacts. It's really great.
Get you on our screen. See if I can get this camera around so people can.
Oh, I'm pretty ugly. I got
my toothpicks. Not only uglier than I am. There he is, folks.
Anyway, we have artifacts. The only one that we have in there that's not from our county, his name is Justin Wisniewski. And if you remember when Bo Bergdahl, back a few years ago, they were out looking for him. Well, he stepped on an IED looking for him. And what a waste of a life, in my opinion. But his dad was a farmer. I'm a farmer. And we knew each other. We graduated. But matter of fact, his dad just died. We put his picture in there so people don't forget.
So you have kind of a dual interest in this because you have obviously the Veterans Building, but you're also in agriculture.
Yep.
You're a farmer. These fairs are important to agriculture.
Yep. My grandson's showing a calf for the first time. He's 6 years old.
Is that right?
This year. My daughter and my son, we won grand champion a few times in the dairy show. We got an excellent. I used to be the dairy superintendent back, and then I got involved in this, and it's hard to get away. But yes, I have a dual interest of knowing how important it is, because I wonder what we used to do in August before the fair came here. And I was on the original fair board, and we said, why don't we have our own? And they gave us the first 40 acres for.
Talk more about. I got to take a break. We'll talk more about
fine.
that. We're talking to John Bennett here at the Oklahoma County Fair, and we'll tell you more about that too when we return here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
I started doing stories. I was down at Fashion Square Mall. You don't have near that much time. You're everywhere. And ran into a gentleman from Seaboing. And he was on the second wave at Normandy, June 6th. And all of a sudden, we were in, in the center where they had all the couches. That's where we were sitting. I was waiting for my wife. And all of a sudden, he went into it for 45 minutes. He told me things like, this is 2 years before Saving Private Ryan came out. And he described the beach landing to a T.
It's interesting talking to you.
Oh, my God. And we got to know it because he used to work for the San Ysidro milk plant in Seaboing. I said, yeah, we used to send our milk there. And so you kind of strike it off, and he just, and my regret out of anything over the last years is I never got his name. I never thought to ask him. But when he got up and his wife came and got him and he walked away, it's that old E.F. Hutton commercial, you know. There was probably 30 people that I wasn't even aware were there, and it was just there wasn't a dry eye in the place. He had all this survivor's guilt because he went through the Normandy landings, the Battle of the Bulge, Market Garden, and his wife came back and we were doing talking about Dachau. It's unbelievable.
Move the table back again.
Yeah, I was going to say I think we need to do that because it's going to keep the sun keeps getting higher. Ready? Yeah.
That's good. That'll hold us down.
One of these days, I'm going to go over to Seaboy and I'm just going to nose around and see if anybody remembers an old feller that's probably dead. He has to be close to 100. And, it's unbelievable what the stories. And you learn about what it took to get us where we are,
you know,
and then to see what's happening nowadays. You know, oh my God!
You know, you're going to be sorry that you asked this guy to come up here because he does not know enough.
Shut up.
That's what I need. It's radio.
But he knows I love it.
But, no, it's a labor of love. I milked my 200 cows this morning. I was up at 4 o'clock.
You still dairy farm?
Oh yeah.
Do you really?
I'm 72 guys farm with my brother, my son, and his son. And this is the labor of love out here, I guess.
It has to be, yeah.
And we got a camper. We got a campground down there where we've had for 30 years. We form a circle.
There you go.
There you go. I got it. So my dad died 21 years ago suddenly, and he helped build this too with me. Mom and Dad would come down and they'd feed all the crews, you know, and every Sunday, and a lot of memories.
Good morning, Team Charlie. Weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Talking to John Bennett, who's involved here in the Ogama County Fair in the Veterans Building, but he's also a farmer. I want to talk about that a little bit, John. This is a difficult time for agriculture, isn't it? The input costs, everything's gone up. You know, and I guess you and what really surprised me is that you're a dairy farmer. You milk 200 head?
Milk 200 cows.
200 cows.
Yeah, we have about 500 head altogether.
You do it the new way with the automated stuff, or you do it the old way?
We got it up until 1991, or up till 2000. We milked in a comfort stall barn in a pipeline, and it took us. Oh, the old way, yes, yeah. I believe I'm old enough to milk cows by hand. You know, with a bucket and a stool, so we could get done a little quicker.
You know, a funny story about that. I'm from New York City. When I grew up, I thought the only cow in the world was Elsie. This big cow that you'd march in a parade. You know, I figured that's where all the milk came from. I didn't know.
Yep.
We moved here in 1974, and I met a dairy farmer at the time, Skip
Beyersdorf.
Yes, indeed.
Went to college with
You
him.
know him.
Yeah,
well,
I know Skip.
Skip said, "You come out here. I'm going to teach you how to milk a cow." And I did. We went out, did some morning shows out there, and I learned how to hand milk a cow. You know, I was absolutely thrown for the TV. I never thought I'd ever do that in my life. But the dairy farming industry, your input costs have gone up. Has the price of the milk you get at the end gone up?
This year, I think milk for us reached a high of I think $24, $25, which was good. Biggest milk check we ever had.
But
usually my fuel bill for the year, for a month, was like 6,500 to 7,500. Went to 14,000. Now, and fertilizer that was $380 last year went up to 900 and 1,000. Now, if it wasn't for the good price of milk, how long is this going to last? And we all know the milk market is like a roller coaster. Is the fuel price going to go back down some? And there's people.
Well, maybe the only thing goes down because your fertilizers, your other costs, feed, they're not going to go down, are they?
But no. And I mean, that's one of the. Well, right here in the dairy barn, I helped build the dairy barn. We got a milking parlor in the dairy barn. And usually we have around 60 animals. This year there's 19. We've lost 4 farms in the area. It used to show that it said, we've had enough. The price is good. The cows are selling high. Take it and let's go.
I asked for a reason because I think people, when they go to the market, tend to forget what's behind the product they buy. The price of that gallon of milk, there's a reason that price is there. That dozen of eggs, which you used to get for 79 cents, is now $5. There's a reason why, and it's the input costs have gone through the roof.
Paul Harvey hit it right. We buy retail, sell wholesale, pay the shipping on both ends. If you can remember him from back in then.
Yes,
we do. Who do we pass our cost on to? And that's what we're finding. We're still at the tail end.
Well, and the other thing too is it's a commodity, so it's not. You don't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I think I'm going to charge $25 today or $26 today." No, you charge what the market bids. What the market tells you the prices.
That's right. And sometimes you have a hard time regulating when they. To me, sometimes the supply management, because farmers can get a little greedy too. I mean, why would they milk, 3,000, 4,000 cows, Well, they put people like us out of business and they can get their commodities cheaper because you go in mass. That's what you deal with. And the one neighbor's up to 900 cows and he says, I'll buy your cows someday. Made me mad.
Well, the government did that years ago when they had the dairy buyout. We lost a lot of dairy that year, didn't we?
Yeah. And the thing is, they were allowed to get back in.
Yeah, they took the big checks from the government and then turned right around.
So, and they could
bought the feeder stock, right?
I don't like that. I guess, that's not the way.
It wasn't intended, but,
no.
Government sometimes.
For all good intentions, it just didn't work as well as what we wanted it to.
It's always good intentions with unintended consequences.
Yes. A little about our farm. Our farm, we've been, my great-mom's great-grandfather homesteaded it in 1884. So we just celebrated our 137th year, and I finally got the centennial sign up and in the front and everything. So we're kind of proud of that. We're like the 6th, 7th generation now.
And is there a generation to follow? Are we finding young people are continuing the agricultural progress?
It's tougher. My son's 38. My nephew's 31. They want to continue it. But how long can you work that hard?
It's a tough life. I mean, you have to have a passion.
You're not getting rich. I mean, my son used to be like, I used to be the cowman, now he's the cowman. He can tell you about, it's heredity. It's time I back off. And I let him do that.
Transition.
It's a transition. Yeah.
So that's how you got it.
That's how I got in it with my dad. My dad just kind of slowly backed off. And if I screwed up, we screwed up, but he didn't try running. He didn't try managing. Some people try managing it, and when the kids get there, they're lost. They have no idea.
Yeah, what you do. Have to transition means just that. You have to start allowing them to take the reins and do things.
Yes, and that also means they got to say, well, you don't do nothing anymore.
Yeah. Well, there's a great example of that. I point to this example. Frankenmuth, Michigan. The Zender families on both sides of the road. The youngsters grow up in the kitchen, learning how to wash the dishes, sweep the floors. Then they learn how to bus, then they learn how to wait, then they learn how the front action works. And by the time they're old enough to take the reins, they have done it all. They understand it.
That's how you learn.
That's how you learn. Same thing on the farms.
Yes, absolutely. I quote, you see these Shaquille O'Neal advertisements and everything. The kid comes up to him, and the kid was bragging to his friends that we're rich, and he goes, "I'm rich." He makes him go out and get a job. That same ethic, earn it.
Well, and that's, it's interesting. I didn't come from that kind of a background. My dad was a hard-working guy, was an agent in New York City. But the one thing I got from it was that he taught me work ethic. He didn't have, he wanted me to follow in his footsteps, and I wasn't going to do that, and he knew it. But he made sure that I understood nobody owed me a living. If my employer owed me a day's wage, I owed him a day's work. And that was a lesson I carried throughout my life. I didn't learn the different skills you would in coming up through agriculture, for example, but I developed my own skills because I knew I had to. I knew I had to if I wanted to make a living and support a family.
It's a little scary with some of the young people right now.
It's a lot scary.
Where they got all the free checks. I got.
We
lost one hired man, and these other kids want. Well, I have hobbies. I wanna. They want time. They don't really want to work.
No, it's scary.
And that's not I don't mean to blanket.
No, but still.
But by and large,
the future.
Holy jeez.
Yeah, it's the future.
It's scary that way. It's scary that way.
Well, John, look, I want to thank you for spending a little time with us this morning. We invite everybody to come on out and visit the Veterans Building here at the Oklahoma County Fair. And while you're here, take in all the agricultural exhibits and all the other fun stuff that goes on.
There's a lot. Be sure to visit the dairy barn. There's only 16 this year, but
16 better than none.
Right. And usually it's jam-packed, but yes, we're very proud of it. For what we've done, I look back and all the work that we've done. Yeah, it was worth it. I told my wife, I says, no, my grandkids are showing.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good thing.
Well, it's all here at the Oklahoma County Fair, and the annual fair goes on through the 20th, today through Saturday. By the way, Sawyer Brown will be here live Friday, the 19th, in the grandstands with the opening act of Motor City Memories. Tickets are available at etips.com. Gates open at 5:30 for that. Lots of paved walkways, benches, picnic tables, free entertainment, the Veterans Museum, home-cooked meals, and the hands-on working antique village. For more information and full grandstand lineup, go to oklahomacountyfair.org and be sure to follow them on Facebook for events updates. Oklahoma County Fairgrounds off Rifle River Trail, 8 miles east of West Branch. We'll take our last break and be back to close out here on the Art Lewis Show.
Where you going, Steve? Taking your car to pay.
Thank you very much, Art. Enjoyed it.
John, thank you. I enjoyed it too.
I always hear you, just never see you. And I
glad to meet you, my friend.
We listen to you in the morning.
Thank you for spending a little time with me.
Are you awesome? That's my sister.
Hi. Good luck. Good luck.
They told her that a long time ago.
It's a lot easier now that we're adults.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. But I'm going to get back down to the museum.
All right.
See if I can cool everything down there. Be sure to come down. I'll give you a tour through. I think you'll enjoy it.
I'll try to do that before I leave.
Betcha.
All right, buddy. Take care,
back
John.
up yet and see Terry too.
Yeah, he'll be back. I'm surprised he's not here yet, but he'll be here because he goes on in a half hour. So.
Yep, that's what I thought. I usually catch him.
Yeah.
And I never realized that he went to Shaw Hall back in Michigan State, '69.
Yeah, he was on the football team, I think.
Yeah, it goes back to a lot of memories. Everything we remember together. So.
There he is, right there. Give it time. Give it time. Where'd you park? Oh, I didn't.
Having a good dryer.
Or return to the completely or breastfeeding. Counterfeit exercise infections, hospitalizations, and solution. Certain other members of the blood test. Diarrhea, and numerous losses of appetite.
All right. That'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Focus coming along next here on WSGW. Should be talking to Rachel Trumbull from the SVRC Marketplace from the Oklahoma County Fair. And don't forget Terry Henning will be along too, coming along at the bottom of the hour. More ahead now with the news here on WSGW.
Oh, great. I got to get down. We'll see you guys later.
All right, I'll see you later. All right, John, take care. Well, I finally got everything working. I was having problems this morning. Signal wasn't strong enough, so that wouldn't work. Then all of a sudden, now I've got a decent signal, so this got too hot because it was in the sun and shut down. The temperature gauge came on. I mean, I really went through it here. That headset, if you're going to talk to anybody, is on number 2.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm going to get the little boys.
Close contact. They'll wear a mask indoors for the next 10 days. The president is expected to continue his August vacation at his home in Wilmington tonight. The FDA has just moved to establish a new category of over-the-counter hearing aids with no need for buyers to have a medical exam or prescription first. The move is expected to expand access and lower the cost, which can run well into the thousands. Dr. Frank Williams of Johns Hopkins University. For the average American, this could be their third largest feature personalized after house and car, so it's incredibly expensive. The vast majority of insurance companies don't cover hearing aids. The Justice Department pushing back against an effort to make public the affidavit supporting the search warrant for former President Trump's Florida estate. In court papers, prosecutors say it could jeopardize the investigation. CBS's Scott McFarlane has the latest on Rudy Giuliani, the former Trump lawyer, is the target in the Georgia investigation into the effort to overturn the 2020 election results. Giuliani's attorney confirms to CBS News the former New York mayor appears tomorrow before that grand jury in Atlanta. It's one of several investigations that are accelerating with some connection to the former president or his close confidants. It could be the beginning of the end of Liz Cheney's time in Congress. Republicans in Wyoming are voting in a primary she is forecast to lose. Many voters have turned on her because of her sharp criticism of former President Trump. This is going to drive a lot of people to the polls because they just want her out. In Alaska, GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski faces a primary, and there's an election to fill the open House seat in the state. Former Governor Sarah Palin is on the ballot. As students head back to school, there are tens of thousands of teacher vacancies all across the country. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona on CBS Mornings so calling on our educators, our leaders to use the American Rescue Plan dollars to provide incentives to get teachers into the classroom or bring back retired teachers without any penalty to their benefit. In Wall Street right now, it's a split decision. The Dow is up 64 points. The NASDAQ is down 112. The S&P is down 12. This is CBS News. If you're a business owner working on leasing, you can save a ton of money on a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 877-25-STEEL and get a quote today.
We are promised to make pioneer shipping for you and your family. Proud to be found in Washington.
Hello. I'm good. How are you? How's your eye? Halfway there, huh? Well, that's better than it was. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, maybe another week or two. Well, do whatever the doc says to do. I know I still have to put eye drops in mine. Yeah. Yeah.
1
Probably a steroid or something to keep the yeah. Yeah, 4 times a day is anti-inflammatory, like a steroid. Yeah.
Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, the ones who get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one is an antibiotic and the other is a steroid. I had the same thing, and the antibiotic you do for a week or so, and then you can move it. And the steroid you have to do for like a month. All right. Well, I'll give you a call a couple. We'll see how you're doing. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? That's good. Oh, gee, thanks. Gee, thanks. I could use a trim. Yeah. Why? Oh, yeah, that's not a good day. I'm up in Oklahoma County right now. Oklahoma County, up by West Branch. Fair. Right past it. Well, I will check with you later in the week. Is one day better than another?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Real nice.
All right, I'll check with you. All right, talk to you then. Yep.
Are you going to board out or is Charlie?
He didn't even stop to say hi to us. Nice guy.
And Doug, 6'5" too.
Aren't you great? The Jason Charles Bottom and the Great Western Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retirement easier. An entire world of terms. They talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make a difference between just survival.
So I told
using everyday language. This book explores
what the hell's her name? Alice.
of your financial life, including
Ashley. Mine went totally gone. If she thought of anyone that she wanted to have interviewed to come up to you or he and let
I
him know.
just did John Bennett.
Okay.
So that was great.
All right. So
I've
you're
talked
almost
about a
done.
lot of stuff, Bets, and yeah, I got Focus right now, and then Terry will be on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, really, it's friendly around here. Really is. Ashley was great. She set the tone right off the bat.
Yeah, she said I made so many mistakes. I
No,
said,
she didn't.
oh, BS.
She did fine.
BS. Everybody thinks
She
that.
did fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well,
Good
nice
deal.
seeing you.
Good seeing you. Who's doing what? Well, all of a sudden I got one. I mean, I didn't have one for a while. I had one bar on 4G. Then all of a sudden I got 5 bars. I don't know what I got now.
Yeah, I got 5 bars here.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Weird.
Not in the beginning.
I don't know.
And I've had to keep moving back because the sun was terrible.
Yeah.
I started out down there.
Yeah, usually in the past, I always shoot back right there. But I see they don't have the table there anymore.
Oh, this is ours.
Yeah. They always had a picnic table right there, and then they had a food stand right there.
They also, last time I was here, they brought up a picnic table here.
Yeah, I see they've got a couple of them sitting over there. I didn't say anything.
I didn't either. It's like, Lucy smells good.
I mean, that was just standard operating procedure.
I know, but it was like, hi Mary, love you, see you, thank you.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. Focus brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. You can find out more online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. We're broadcasting today from the 2022 edition of the Ogama County Fair. I'll tell you more about that as we go along, and Terry Henney will also be along from the fair on the farm show at 11:30, and he will also have some guests to talk about the fair and its agricultural importance. But right now, we're going to transport ourselves via radio back down to Saginaw and the SVRC Marketplace in downtown Saginaw, because with us this morning, the market manager, and we say good morning to Rachel Trumbull. Rachel, good morning. Well, let's start with here we are already in mid-August. I don't know where the time has gone, but you've had a lot of events down there this summer. How have they gone?
We've done extremely well. We have really collaborated with the Downtown Saginaw Farmers Market team, starting to run the Downtown Saginaw Farmers Market. We've done such a phenomenal job with putting together, weekly market events. We've had 2 of those, which have been highly successful. We've had live entertainment, a first of ways with vendors outside, and also our marketplaces that open inside to include our boardroom. And we've had, multiple different things in addition. Celebrate the community, black people in, black families, family events, and it just feels really good to see so much action and movement towards the marketplace.
So let's talk about anything new in the marketplace right now.
We have up and coming new businesses. I feel like every time, we talk, I feel that we
and that's why I asked.
We do have some new ones coming in. Again, just not able to announce them yet because we are waiting for their food licensing to happen. But that can sometimes, be a little bit of a process. But we do and are excited to be bringing in 2 more food businesses and then another retail business and then possibly another retail business coming inside. So definitely, what I love to see about Marketplace is not only us offering like you say, the global flavors and American flavors, but we really are evening out as far as bringing in some more regional businesses. A lot of people like to call us, like a food store, and we're not a food store. We have a really great retail businesses inside, and we're starting to look at evening that out more with retail and food businesses, making it a one-stop shopping experience.
Well, I know you can't give us the names because they're still in the process of getting their licenses. Can you tell us what types of food we're talking about coming in?
I can tell you that, walking around with, delicious turkey legs inside the market.
Oh, all right.
Or, possibly having cupcakes that is based so that feels like, ice cream in the center. Possibly some more oils and herbs and things like that. So we have a very good variety coming in, I would say.
Just in terms of generalization, any idea how long it's going to take them to get the final licenses so you can announce their arrival?
Yeah, so, typically when we sit down with an individual, especially with a food business, it depends on that. We gotta hold them accountable, we gotta hold the staff accountable, we gotta give them the paperwork that is requested of the China Health Department. It's a real lengthy process, but it's even lengthier when, we're not turning in the proper stuff. So, also, there's a cost involved. So, that's a bit of cost up front that, the small business have to endure. And so, there's a couple different hurdles that they may seek or find, but, it's our job to keep them accountable, I keep on them, I'm like, okay, how's it going? Check it in with them, so.
I imagine it's a lot easier probably a lot easier with an established food vendor who already has a relationship with the licensing.
Yeah. And, with us being an integrated business, we're typically taking new small businesses, that haven't really established themselves. So it's a process, but we work it through with them, and I'm definitely here to hold them accountable.
All right, Rachel, hang on. I got to take a break, and we will be back with more talking to Rachel Trumbull from downtown Saginaw, the SVRC Marketplace in downtown Saginaw, as we broadcast from the Ogama County Fair, located at 2300 Rifle River Trail. That's what you would put in your GPS, 2300 Rifle River Trail, 8 miles east of West Branch. The Ogama County Fair goes on through Saturday with free parking, daily front gate pass of $5 per person. 10 years and under are free, and the weekly front gate pass only $15. And the big show this year is Friday. Our sister station 94.5 The Moose involved with that. Sawyer Brown comes to town Friday, August 19th in the grandstands. The opening act, the Motor City Memories. Tickets are available online at etix.com. Gates open for that at 5:30. Enjoy paved walkways, benches, picnic tables, free entertainment, the Veterans Museum, home-cooked meals, and the hands-on working antique village. For more information on the full grandstand lineup, go to ogamacountyfair.org. And make sure to follow them on Facebook for event updates here at the Ogama County Fairgrounds off Rifle River Trail, 8 miles east of West Branch. And if you have never been to the Ogama County Fairgrounds, it is a sight to see because it's literally carved out of the woods. And they've left a lot of the trees, so it's not just big an open space. It's like walking through the woods, but in the campground and in the fairgrounds. Fabulous, fabulous place. Come on out. Ogama County Fair goes on through Saturday here at the Ogama County Fairgrounds. And we will be back with Rachel after these notes.
Hi, I'm Tom Franklin, host of the Money Pit Summit Urban Show. You think you need a new roof? Think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with Roof Max, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment.
What do you got for a watch?
Fine, it's right on the money.
11 coming up on
Exactly.
11:19.
11:19 in 2, 1, mark.
Got it.
Not a single stitch of it. It's all talk. Who's talk? All talk.
We got 3 other radio stations that play plenty of music.
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
No.
Yeah, we got to be a
Yeah, no, we're news talk.
They want to know what the news is.
Well, the news is the fair's on till Saturday. It's all about the fair. Nice sunglasses. I like those glasses. Very nice.
It's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience with fixing people's search results. And we can help you too, using cutting-edge approaches. Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information back to lower the focus of your search results. But you can go other way. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top. Your Google name is too valuable to move to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control of Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. This is my favorite. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine.
I brought a lot too. Cool. Already got one. That's
Yeah,
good.
I figured I'd make sure that I had it.
Hunting fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking.
Okay, these are the sheets. Plural.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design civil studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW at the Ogama County Fair. We're talking to Rachel Trumbull from the SVRC Marketplace in downtown Saginaw. Let's remind everybody again, Rachel, the hours you keep at the marketplace.
We're open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then we have our downtown Saginaw Farmers Market that is open Monday 10 to 3, Wednesday and Friday 10 to 3, and Saturday 10 to 1.
So let's talk about the businesses that are in the marketplace right now, excluding food. Let's talk about those other businesses that are in there because, as you say, it's more than a food store.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have, you know, the little long shop who's been with us since day one, and she has such a phenomenal following. And she actually just did, you know, she would have thought that there's this amazing little, you know, food, like a yarn hair. And so what happens with the yarn fair is that she just opened long hours, so she brought in people all over the Great Lakes region. So, you know, there's another benefit to having her inside of the marketplace. And of course, we have typically street stores. She helps with making create, you know, jewelry, she fixes jewelry. We have Thrive creative innovation to, you know, she actually allows other small businesses to bring in their items and sell it inside of her space. Her space is actually available. She's, you know, kind of one of our newest ones and, you know, very creative. We have healthy serene, so beautiful crystals, oils, things like that. And then, of course, we have, you know, jewelry, women jewelry, beautiful pieces of jewelry. We also have clothing. We have well-retail shoes. So, I mean, you can bring in buy a piece of clothing and then go shop for some durable shoes and yoga clothes. So again, there's just nice variety with flowers for romance and flowers for special occasions. Again, another benefit of, you know, one-stop shopping experience for the market.
Okay, so now let's take care of the food vendors because there are a lot of them. And it's like walking around the world, literally.
Yeah, so we love to consider ourselves a very much global flavor market. And what we mean by that is you can have a taste of, you know, global flavors. So we have, of course, we have Falafel Hut, who's very popular. And then we have, you know, Middle Eastern food, and we have Southern food, you know, Vietnamese. We have El Pablito, also the Mexican feel free to, make delicious gumbo and all of these amazing recipes from Springfield, Louisiana. So again, we just have, we have Patsy now who's inside, and he is bringing in sweet corn and all of these different fun flavors and colors. Straight from the streets of Mexico, it feels like. So just again, we can never benefit in building of all of the small businesses we have inside.
So what if I have a sweet tooth? Got anything for me?
Oh yeah. So we have Rebecca's Story Bakery that she is going to she'll be cute here, of course, with her pies and delicious cakes and stuff. We're creating cookies to, fresh cookies in 15 minutes. I mean, you can't beat that. Her cookies are literally something you crave for. She also is the proud owner of Delicious Sweet Bake Shop, which serves, of course, some more delicious sweets. So you feel the lines, just of both. You got a little variety of a little bit of everything.
All right, so let's talk about somebody who might be interested in opening up a business inside the marketplace. How do they get a hold of you, and what's the procedure?
So we have a beautiful new website. You can go to SVRCmarketplace.com and check out our new website. It's now live, and it's very user-friendly, and has all my contact information, talks about how you can become a small business. You can set up an appointment, we can sit down together, and I can guide you with so many different really great seminar organizations that are here in Saginaw, and of course inside of our building. We have SVRC inside of our building, SVEC is here, inside SVRC, which is the Saginaw Economic Searching organization that helps with the financial aspect of it, of starting a small business. So my job really is amazing in the aspect of sitting down with somebody and guiding them as much as I can. A lot of information, I'm sure, to process, but giving them all the tools that they need to become a small business so that when they're ready, they can come to me and then we can, help put out their dreams and their goals into fruition and open up their business.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, listen, as always, fun to talk to you, Rachel. Always learning something new every time you do it.
Thank you. And if I might just put a plug in, so we have a Rise on Riverfront event that's coming up August 28th. It's a Sunday. Not much to do on Sundays on Riverfront Saginaw, so please come down. We are going to be collaborating with the car club. We'll have Rise on it, the mandatory entertainment, a DJ all day 9 to 5. We'll have pasties for food. We'll have some vendors. So please, SPH 9 to 5, come on out. Bring a car, bring a truck, bring whatever you have. And then, make it a nice family fun day here on Riverfront Saginaw.
Sounds like fun, Rachel. We'll talk to you again.
Sounds good. Thanks, Art.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. Rachel Trumbull, Market Manager at the SVRC Marketplace. We thank you for joining us. We'll be back to close out.
Taking your car to pizza.
What happened?
Right.
You going to want to use the stream or not?
Yeah. Oh, I can, I can.
All right. Well, look, here's how you do it. All you got to do is, I'll just leave it on it. Right here, you just join the stream.
Okay.
You're going to use this headset.
Yep. That's on one.
It's on one, and you got to crank it higher than those. It goes
Okay.
up to about like that.
Okay, about 12 o'clock?
Yeah. You'll hear it in your head.
Right. And then the other one, what, about 10?
Yeah. About like, normal.
Yeah. Okay.
These take a little more guts.
Okay.
These are $600. Those are two. The sound is much better.
To apply to your job. You can qualify candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Who's on the board for you, Jonathan?
No, probably he's out video for the whole event.
Oh, that's right.
The invitation.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they had to do that.
ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Yeah, Mark.
You're done at 12:30, right?
Mark, yeah, 12:35. Yeah, Mark forgot about it. Ken Buck shows up this morning with all the signs and everything. They didn't have anything set up at the golf course.
Well,
So Mark comes down on Terry. He's like, Terry's
I'll get out of here. By the time I pack up and get out of here at 1 o'clock, if I get back there by 2:15, it's still be there, I'm sure.
On the next Martin Green Jeff and Robin show, pediatricians are planning a pediatrician group. You know what for? You know what kids? I've not. Now I have to do puberty blockers. Oh my God, where you been? Jeff and Robin. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for Focus for today. Brought to you by RoofMax. You can find out more about RoofMax online at getroofmax.com. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. From the Ogama County Fair, I'm Art Lewis. Stick around. Terry Henney's up here at the Ogama County Fair, and he'll be along right after these notes.
Wealth and trust. Wealth management. That's what you're thinking.
Does this sound important to you?
Successful planning for the family business.
I'll be around if you have a problem or an issue. I'll leave my watch here. You have yours.
Yep.
You got yours?
Yep, I got mine. And we agree, so we're good. Hey, Pat, just double checking, seeing who's on the board. You are wonderful. All right. Yeah, I'll do an interview and that stuff here quick if Ashley shows up. Yeah, like we normally do. Just go through the deal. That's just what I was going to do. You're right on the mark. Okay, thank you. All right, Pat.
I provide legal solutions for the changing world. I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love the Babbel's lessons on kids robots. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real languages. You learn how to have real-world conversations. Things are actually used.
3 weeks. You can travel. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris. Having a conversation with friends.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. You travel podcasts, games, or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher. If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way, man.
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Babbel. Visit Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This road has a president news coverage. This host gets out of house in which I talk shows. It's out of which I around the clock. Top secret, pretty serious scratches. Level with the president news coverage on WSGW. He's hitting the right field. Line drive off the bat of Victor Reyes. In the score comes Gary Carpenter. Big two out here. You talk about picking up your teammates. The Tigers throw 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.